All right, this video is to help you use your cube root button on your calculator, and you use the cube root button when you're finding the inverse of cubing a number. So let's say I wanted to take the radius and cube it. Obviously, I would times it by itself 3 times, and we have a button like this one right here that helps us cube a number, this x to the third power. But if I want to cube root it, so let's say I'm finding the radius of a sphere that I already know the volume of, that eventually you'll get to the point in the problem where you have to find the cube root of the radius cubed. And I'm going to show you on this video how to use these different calculators to find a cube root. So let's start with this Casio. Now this Casio is the type of calculator that's in the back of my room. And if you look right above that that X cube button, this little cube root button is right there. So all you have to do is hit the shift button and then hit this X the third, and that will give you the cube root. So you hit the shift, cube root, and then you type in your number, and then you hit equals, and that'll give you your answer. You could also, if you notice this button right here has the little caret on it, that helps you raise a number to any power. So if I wanted to do 9 to the 4th, I would click 9, click this button, and then click to the 4th power. And I can do the shift again. I can hit the shift button, and I can use this button. Now, if I was wanting to use it here to maybe find the 4th root or 5th root, then I would have to hit the numbers first. So if I wanted to use it for 3rd root, I would hit the 3, and then hit shift, and then hit that button right here, this little caret, which would give me this option right there, the X, little X there. The 3 would be the little X in place of the little X there, and then you could type in your number and press equals. If you have a calculator like the one I use, and that come in a variety of colors, blue, light blue, green, orange, pink, then you're going to use this button right here just above the caret, just like I described in the last calculator. You don't really have an option, so you've got to hit this button right here, that little X right there. You'll have to hit the 3 first, and then hit the second function button, which will give you this option right there once you hit the caret. So again, that was hitting the 3 first, hitting second function, hitting this button right there, which gives you, it'll look like 3, and then the X will be right beside it, letting you know the 3 is in place of the X, and then you can type in your number and press enter. If you have a sharp calculator like this one, then you also have a cube root button right there that you'll have to hit the second function button for. So you would just hit second function first, and then this square root button, because by hitting the second function and then the square root button, you'll get the the cube root option. And then you'll type in your number, and then you'll hit equals down at the bottom. You also have this function right here that you can use any root, not just a 3rd root or square root, any root. You could also use this option, although this will be a little bit longer. You could hit the 3 first, and then the second function button, and then this button right here, which would give you this option. So the little 3 would be written right next to the X to let you know the 3 is being used in place of the X for the cube root. And then you could type in your numbers and press equals. If you have this TI-30XA calculator that doesn't let you see what you're typing in, then you have to work a little bit backwards. You have to hit the number that you want to cube root first. So for example, 64, you would hit 64 if you want to cube root that. Then hit the second function button, then hit the Y to the X button, which will give you this option up here. And then you would hit 3 because you're cube rooting it, and hit equal. So it's backwards from all the other calculators. So again, you would hit your number you want to cube root first, hit the second function button, hit the Y to the X button, which will give you this option, and then hit 3 because you're cube rooting it, and then hit equals. If you have this Casio calculator, scientific calculator, this is a nice one, you can, your cube root button is up here. So you're going to have to hit the shift button and then this button right here. So you've got that cube root option. So all you have to do is hit shift first, then this button, which will give you this option of cube rooting, and then type your number in and hit equals. So again, shift, and then this button, which will give you the cube root, type your number in. You also have the option of using this button, except you'd have to type the 3 in first. You have to type 3, then shift, then this button, which will give you this option because you're shifted, and then you could type in your number. That's a little bit longer, so you wouldn't want to use that to use your cube root. You want to take this shortcut right here. If you have the Century Scientific Calculator, then you're going to have to use this button right here. This is your cube root, or it will be once you hit 3 for the X there. So it's right above the Y to the X button. So you would hit 3 first, and then hit second function, and then this button here, which will give you this option, type your numbers in, and then hit equals. So again, 3 first, second function, Y to the X, which gives you the cube root, or the rooting option there, and then type your numbers in and hit equals.